Hello there, and welcome to the second part of the Heavenly Album Covers 500 subscriptions celebration. And before we get started, I need to remind Terry Smith, please send us your pronouns. A lot of people don't know that Jimi Hendrix grew up in Seattle. He was a northwestern United States kind of guy. He lived half of his life in Seattle and then moved on to bigger and brighter things. Here's a picture of Jimi Hendrix right here at Monterey Pop Festival. That's him setting his guitar on fire and worshiping it and smashing it up. And so he grew up in Seattle, and he went to school there, and he was also taking music classes in high school, and he happened to learn how to play the French horn. He was actually a very good French horn player. All of his teachers thought he was a real decent French horn player, and he got really good at it. And then a friend of his gave Jimmy a guitar, and the rest is history. But his old high school has this French horn in a display case in the lobby, and it's actually the French horn that Jimi Hendrix played when he was in high school. And they recently found out that Hendrix had he'd taken a knife or a stick or something. He'd inscribed something in the bell of the French horn. It said, "You'll never hear French horn music again." Welcome to Heavenly Album Covers, and we're going to look at some more album covers right now, starting with the 101 Strings and their album Swing with Hammond Organ. The Hammond organ motif in albums was huge 60 or 70, 80 years ago. People just loved the Hammond organ. It was kind of a new invention, and they could apply the Hammond organ to all sorts of different types of music. So here are some human people, some people here dancing. They're wearing the kind of clothes that humans wear, and they're just having a lot of fun here on the album cover. The backdrop is very blurry, psychedelic. It looks like these people were cut out and pasted on this background, which is okay. It's an old graphic arts trick. And the funny thing is there are these disembodied hands down here playing the organ. Let's zoom in on those. And I guess we'll never know whose hands these are or where they came from. But this album is very kinetic and frenetic. I'm not sure what the word frenetic means, but it sounds good. And this is in stereo. And the back is a little bit boring. It looks like they just do some slow pop standards with the Hammond organ. So this is the 101 Strings. Next up is an album produced by musical genius Todd Rundgren, and this is an album by Shaun Cassidy. He was a teenage pop star for maybe 15 years at a certain time, and this is his album called Wasp, W-A-S-P. And this cover fascinates me because there actually is a real wasp here on the cover, and Shaun Cassidy is hiding from it behind a clear pane of glass. The glass is kind of shattered, but the wasp is going after Shaun Cassidy's eye, or maybe his eyebrows. Let's zoom in on the wasp. There's the wasp. I don't like wasps. They're mean-spirited and unpredictable. And so Todd Rundgren produced this. It's a real good album, and the group Utopia also plays on this. At least some members of Utopia play on it, and Todd Rundgren plays guitar on it. So it's a win-win situation for this album. I believe this is the same photo as the cover photo. It's just been reversed. Here's the wasp again on someone's hand, and here's a slightly different version of the wasp on Shaun Cassidy's face. Shaun Cassidy looks a little bit disturbed there. So I'm wondering if they hired some stunt wasps to take part in the photo shoot, or if this is just a wasp that came flying into the studio. So that's David Cassidy. I don't know who Tom Cassidy is. This next album is called Here History Began. From the Maxims of Ta-Hotep, he who is able to listen is able to speak, in stereo. And this is some sort of Egyptian album that it's like a tourist audio tour of the pyramids. And it's quite a hefty album. It's got 2 records in it. Here on the cover are some hieroglyphics and some concentric and wildly placed circles here. There's some sort of graphic element on the side, I guess to make the cover look like it's an old manuscript or something. But let's dive into it. There's some liner notes that kind of tell you what's happening on the albums. And all we get on the inside is a picture, I think, I don't know what that is, the Sphinx, I guess, and another pyramid back here. It's a real black and white photo. It's very dramatic. And the album labels are just red, black on red. And this album is just spoken word, all about the pyramids. And it looks like they misspelled sound on here, which is a mistake. It reads swand and light, not sound and light. It looks like this came out in 1961, so that's the history of the pyramids on record. Here's an album by Sue Thompson. It's shrink wrapped. I'm going to leave it in the shrink wrap because it looks better in the shrink wrap. There's Sue Thompson, and this album is called With Strings Attached. And Sue is lounging on her back on various soft fabrics. This looks like a bathroom rug, maybe, and she's wearing a bunch of styrofoam, I think. There's a rose, and Sue Thompson looks a little bit out of it, a little bit stunned, like she had just fallen down in the bathroom, maybe. This is on Hickory Records, and it looks like it's a country western album with the song titles. All the song listing is all like country and western stuff, and looks like there's a good paragraph of liner notes. Here's Sue Thompson again up here. I guess she recovered from her bathroom fall, and she's out there singing again on stage. And so that's on Hickory Records, Sue Thompson, With Strings Attached. Next up is another album by the 101 Strings called Our Wedding. I'm going to put some lights on this because the album cover itself is kind of faded out. It's kind of strange. I'll open the door a little more. And this looks like it's wedding music made by the 101 Strings. It came out in 1973. It's on Alshire Records, which was 101 Strings record label. And this woman looks like she is about to get married or will be married. I assume she's a woman. She might be something else, but she is a person and she is human, I think. And she's got a kind of a light blue sash and a veil there. The lettering is very simple and effective, and it looks like she's in a big cloud of mystic clouds, really. She's real happy, or he's real happy, I'm not sure. And these might be the most simple liner notes I've ever seen. I'm thinking you can, this says autographs below here. And I think you were supposed to take this album to your wedding and play it, and then get autographs of the people that came to your wedding, or give it, maybe you were supposed to give this album to people who attended your wedding. Up here it says, "This space reserved for a picture of the bride and groom." So, and all the songs are wedding oriented. And so that's the 101 strings and the mystical album cover, which graces the cover of it. Next up is multi-talented Al Kooper. Al Kooper, I know him most for producing the first Tubes album. He was all over that. He mixed it and mastered it and produced it and engineered it and did all sorts of stuff. He also played with Bob Dylan, and importantly, he played with Mike Bloomfield, one of the great guitar heroes of all time, Mike Bloomfield. And this album is called A Possible, I can't read it, A Possible Project. What is it called? I'll have to look at the spine. A Possible Projection of the Future, comma, Childhood's End. It's got a long title. That's why I forgot it. And Al Kooper is on the cover. He's been aged with makeup and photographic techniques. He's much older here than he was in real life, and he's holding a guitar with his wrinkled hands. He's got some sort of jumpsuit on with, it says U.S. Government Welfare, and he looks very sad on the cover. This is a very almost unappealing cover. It kind of puts a person off who is looking for a good album to play. And you can see his glasses, his eyewear is down here, and he's got some sort of guitar there. And let's see if we can find the real picture of Al Kooper. There's him and his group, or maybe it's just him playing Flying V guitar. The middle gatefold has all sorts of stuff happening. This almost looks like a compilation album of some sort. There's Al Kooper putting on old makeup, or aging makeup. There's Michael Bloomfield and Al Kooper with Norman Rockwell. That's a great picture. As I said, Mike Bloomfield is the greatest. And I don't know who these other people are, but that's the gatefold. And here's a little flyer that shows Al Kooper before the aging process. He just looks a little bit out of it. I don't know why not sure why a person would put kind of depressing photos on their albums, but this whole package is a little bit depressing, except for the gatefold. And there's before and after. But Al Kooper, very talented guy. He's still around. He's got a lot of rock and roll and music stories in his head. And finally we have the appealing and effervescent Jimmy Roselli, if I can get him on the display board there. And I know nothing about Jimmy Roselli other than this cover is great. It looks, again, it's another cover where they took a photograph and cut around it and pasted it on a background. Here's Jimmy in front of Naples, I think, and there's a nice water backdrop there and a bridge, a little jutting thing that sticks out onto water, whatever those are called. And there's a table with some fruit, and Jimmy's got his foot up on a Italian chair there, and he's got his fingers together like he's saying, this is real, this is the life, this is great, this is great fruit. And I, Jimmy Roselli, am a singer, and this is on M&R Records. I think it's a double. Yep, it's a double album. There's a much better and more clear picture of Jimmy Roselli. He just looks great. it would have been great to be Jimmy's friend. He would have just been a real great guy to be around. And these are all the song titles. I think it's all like Italian pop music. And that's Jimmy Roselli. Let's see if there's anything. Let's see if the record labels are interesting on this while we're here. Not really, they're just black on green. M&R Records. I can't see a date anywhere here. Maybe there is one on the back. 1977, okay. So, and Jimmy's got a little teeny tiny watch there on his wrist. And I like his jacket. It has all sorts of loops and rivets and buttons and things. And he's got a really nice scarf there, a neck, some netwear there. So, that's Jimmy Roselli once again. And got to remind Terry to send in her pronouns. Terry Smith, please send in your pronouns so we can update your records.